Namaskar. Welcome to another episode on the ISU podcast. Today we have with us Dr. Harmeet Bharadwaj. She's a practicing dentist, the co-founder to an organization Pink City Moms and founder to Businessify, a platform dedicated to support female founders in their ventures and entrepreneurial journeys. Today in this episode, we are going to talk about everything from oral health to business, from personal to professional lives, and everything it's between for a woman to manage all these things. So without any further ado, let's get started. Namaskar ma'am, thank you
Hi.
to be here.
Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure, and my first question to start this entire conversation is going to be, you're a practicing dentist. It has been one of a journey, I know. So what it has been like for you?
So, let me start by saying that dentistry was not by choice. Definitely not by choice. I was always attracted towards the healthcare sector. I always wanted to be a part of it, but it was not dentistry. I wanted to move to the other way, but it had to be this way, so I'm here. I come from a background where there is no medical dental background as well. Married into a family where there are only dentists and doctors. So it's been a journey, like the whole
Yeah.
mindset and the way it all works. But it's been a good journey. It's been slow, because your personal life and the kids and everything comes in the way.
Yeah.
But it's been good so far.
So, dentistry is one such field which is of course very essential, but people know a lot less than they should in
Yeah.
general life.
Yeah.
What do you think are those biggest misconceptions that are out there about oral health?
Well, I think there are a lot of misconceptions. The biggest one, I think, being that dentistry is only, about aesthetics. It's not. Also, that there's nothing preventive. It's, जब दर्द होगा तब हम dentist के
Yeah.
पास जाएंगे वाला concept. But there are also a lot of other misconceptions, that people still have. Things like if you remove a tooth, eyesight will get affected. Misconceptions like kids' teeth don't matter. They matter a lot. So some small things, a lot of things like that. Some things like cleaning, scaling is a procedure.
Yeah.
So if you do scaling, the gap between your teeth widens. So a lot of such misconceptions. But I think there is a lack of oral health awareness, and that's one of the main reasons that there are a lot of misconceptions.
So, just picking from what you said, that there is a lack of awareness,
Yeah.
amongst the people. What are the steps that we as general public can take to make that happen, and what is your take on it, that these things should be done into our daily lives or put into the routines for it to come into practice?
See, I think first and foremost, your basic mindset that oral health is secondary, it's an aftermath thing,
Yeah.
has to change. It has to be primary, it has to be preventive. So, I'm sure a lot of people now must have heard that you should go to the dentist once in 6 months. It's not, there's a concept, कि वो तो ऐसे ही है. It's not like that. If you cannot go in 6 months, go in a year. But do go, because the thing is, dentistry or a dental visit is associated mostly with pain.
Yes.
But it is that concept is because, and that's the mindset, because you visit the dentist when you're in pain. If you visit on time, then all these things don't happen.
Exactly.
So I think a basic change in mindset is required. Importance to oral health has to be given. As I said in the previous answer, that children, their teeth do matter, and parents come with disbelief. कि अरे ये तो दूध के दांत हैं. But it is very important that basic oral hygiene procedures are followed. Brushing twice a day, 2 minutes, etc., etc. They are the basic things. So I think it's a mindset change that is required more than anything else.
True. And I'm sure you have dealt with all kinds of patients, but then there are certain, challenges that come with it, and people feel, and especially for the profession you are in, we understand that there are certain amount of challenges that are there, but from the outside they look different than they are actually from the inside. What is your take on those things?
As a dentist, there are a lot of challenges, but I think the biggest challenge is convincing the patient that an X treatment is required.
Yeah.
Patients don't get convinced easily, you know. Everything is related to pain. And if there is no pain, then according to, you know, to convince them that pain nahi bhi hai, so
Yeah.
this procedure is required, is extremely, extremely challenging. You know, though I do understand that there are emotional baggages attached to it, there is fear, etc., etc. There are a lot of things, but that is one of the challenges I think every dentist faces, to convince a patient for a treatment. You know, and
Yeah.
sometimes the treatment is required. Like, there is no way that the patient will be okay without that treatment, but they just don't get convinced. I think most dentists will agree with me that that's the biggest challenge they face.
Okay, so I'm just steering the conversation in a different direction. Now that you know you have been a practicing dentist, there is obviously a toll that it takes on a person because they have a full-fledged profession going on. Yet you went ahead and you co-founded an organization, Pink City Moms, and then founded Businessify. How it is like that, you know, balancing all these things and still making out time to be yourself?
First, I would like to say a few things. I would just like to explain to you that how it works. So, Pink City Moms is a mother's community,
Yeah.
which was started 11 years back by a very good friend, Astha. And I joined along the way, I think around 8 to 9 years back. It's a community for mothers. We have all kinds of mothers, new moms, mom to be, mothers of teenagers. So, you know, basically, we're a community that works on principles of being kind, inclusivity, collaboration, etc. We're over almost now 7,000 members. Now, Businessify is a very recent vertical of Pink City Moms that
Okay.
we've started. And that has also stemmed up from this particular thought process only, that let's support and provide a networking and a collaboration platform for women who have started their businesses, some have small businesses, but they do not have access to these platforms.
True.
So I've been associated with both. It is difficult to manage everything together. I must admit that it's a big juggle. Time is a big problem.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is that I have also learned the hard way. I have also learned to prioritize things, you know. There was a time where I didn't know whether I should be here, there are the kids are at home, there is clinic. When you're at the clinic, the kids are calling non-stop.
Yeah.
When you go for an event, you might get a call either from the clinic or from or anything, you know, it's all like that. But I also learned to, you know, segregate everything. So there is a fixed time now. I have realized that this is the time for clinic, and that's how it's going to be. I must also say that we have a very good team at Pink City Moms and Businessify, and you know, we work accordingly. Everybody can't be available at the same time. So I've done that. So when I have a fixed time that I come home now, I've made it a point that in the afternoon for 2 hours I do come home, and only once a week now I, you know, go attend an event or any other thing. So you have to learn to balance. You have to, you know, learn to delegate. I have also learned that it cannot be कि I will do everything. सब कुछ मैं ही कर लूँगी.
Not possible.
If you want to do that, then you cannot do so much. So I've learned that you have to learn to trust other people with your children. There are many things, but it's not that easy. But I enjoy all the world. I must admit, I enjoy my time in the clinic. I enjoy Businessify as much as I enjoy Pink City Moms. So, you know, it's like there's one thing that I do. There is one thing that's a passion. And there is one thing that's the purpose.
True.
So, you know, it's a balance of all three. But I must admit, it's taken me time to get here. It's not been that easy.
Yeah.
I've juggled, but ठीक है,
But then
so far
I
so
think
good.
it's also that you have been committed to everything, that you have
Yeah.
reached this far along with all these different you know, things that you're trying to do in life. Talking about Businessify, it's a platform that supports businesses, especially female-led businesses, as we talked about. Why do you think that, you know, mostly female founders are neglected in a way that they are, you know, just doing it for the side hustle? Because the society has this mindset that if a female is a founder, either she's lacking in some other departments or she's just doing it for the sake of it.
So, I partially agree with what you're saying, but you know, there is an other side to it. The other
Exactly.
side is that women also, a lot of women, I would not generalize, but a lot of women don't have the confidence as well
Okay.
to go out, put forward the business. I'm talking about even about myself. You say 2 years back, maybe I didn't speak about dentistry as confidently as I am today. So, but again, you meet people, there's networking, there is a platform
Yeah.
provided, you talk about your work again and again and again, and that's how you learn. So I think it's not about how people only perceive you, it's also about how you present yourself. There is a big lacunae even over there.
Yeah.
So with Businessify, I think one of the main reasons to start was to provide a platform which gives you that confidence to grow, confidence to collaborate. It's not that big yet because we have just started, but our purpose is that, to give women. I'm not sure if women are still perceived as not as men in the society, but I think it's just part of the game. Women
Yes.
are far, far ahead. They juggle with so much. Yeah,
Exactly.
I juggle. Sometimes I tell my husband, you're only working. I'm doing like 10 things together.
Exactly.
So I absolutely don't agree to that. Women are like far super.
No, but being a mother itself, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So doing that, then going out and doing your profession as a job, and then going out and doing certain other things, and then having the confidence to put yourself out there, I think that's a feat in itself.
See, I think that maybe I'll just deviate a little from what you're saying. That I think that what support system you create for yourself,
I agree.
which can be anything, which can be your family, which can be your husband, which can be your children, which can be your house help, anything, your staff, anything.
Yeah.
I think the support system that you create for yourself is very important. So a lot of mothers who are younger than me, new moms, and they're all struggling. I've been there. I always tell them that just start. Start somewhere. It might be a messy start. It might be a slow start. It might be a start that you don't want, but do it, because there is never a perfect situation.
Yeah.
And there is never a perfect time for sure. And along the way, you just, find your way.
Figure out.
So I am not from Jaipur. I am
Okay.
basically from Mumbai. So when I came to Jaipur, I was absolutely lost. But over a period of time with Pink City Moms, that's how I joined Pink City Moms, I found my way. And slowly, I just understood where I wanted to be, what I wanted. So I think it's a journey, and it's not easy, but I think you have to start somewhere. I mean, I've been there, done that. I know that it takes a lot, but for all women, and see, house and children, husband, family, in-laws are things that everybody has to manage, जिनको in-laws ही manage करने वो अपने parents को manage करते हैं, तो everybody has things to manage. There is nobody who's just doing their work. Everybody has their set of things. So I think you have to find your way. Dheere dheere, it's slow, steady, but it's good.
So, because we were talking about, managing different things, I'll just touch upon a very broad topic, especially in our generation, that is boundaries. How important do you think are boundaries in a person's life, where they should be very clear and where they are a little juggable and manageable? Like, in general, what's your perspective on boundaries?
Boundaries, I think it depends, what your situation is. But you have to say no, you have to draw a line, whether it's your work, whether it's at home. Like if my kids are, they just want to do anything under the sun, it's not possible. I have to draw a line even over there, You have to learn to say no. In fact, when you say that one of the reasons how I am able to do multiple things is that even now I have learned to say no. No to my co-founders that, no, it's not going to be possible. I'm not going to be here. Or learn to say no to my kids that, I'm not going to be there with you. Please understand, do this. But, it used to be a hitch for me also. But I think there should be boundaries. I mean, you have to decide your own boundaries. For you, your boundaries. For me, my boundaries.
Yeah.
But I think, yes, there should be boundaries. And you don't have to go all in. It's difficult, but you have to master it.
So, okay. Steering back to dentistry now, people who want to pursue this as a profession, because again, this is an unconventional route that is taken, and obviously medicine and this industry is somewhat phobiaized in the society that it's a big thing. What's your message, especially for the students who are pursuing this? What are the challenges they can face, or like what are the tips that they can have from you?
Firstly, I would like to say that I am not sure. At least when I started dentistry, I'm not sure how it is now. I think these days it's still a little streamlined. Kids are very sure what they want to be and what they want to do. But I think that do or move towards that field only if you really like to do it. Not because there is peer pressure or anything like that. The reasons are that it's a long road. It's
Yeah.
with dentistry, for that matter, any healthcare profession, it's a long road. You need a lot of patience. All professions require patience, but the only thing is, medical and dental is a little slow at growth. It is rewarding, but it's quite demanding. So I would like to say that you have to be patient, and just by doing a BDS or an MBBS is really not the end of the
Yeah.
world. With advancing technology, it's getting more and more difficult for even for students to cope. It's difficult for us to cope, so I'm sure it's difficult for the
Yes.
students to cope as well. The money involved, the finance involved in setting up is also a lot. The students, I feel, really get isolated once they are, done with their degrees, because
I know.
what happens is that there's nobody to check in on them, or there's nobody to, guide them what way they should take. So I think you have to be patient for students who are already into dentistry. I think you should really be around people who are into clinical practice or are into what you want to be, as in do courses and all, not for certificate, but do it because you want to learn
Yeah.
something. You have to, anything that you do. In fact, I would like to say, in the in times of social media where Instagram is the thing,
Yeah.
try and follow people who make you think, not just smile, because if they're making you think, means there is something.
Yeah.
And also, have a look at who you are following, because I think that is really going to shape you. You can't just be, oh wow, they're doing good work, but that does not help. I've also, like now, because we are in social media, I also see a lot of things like, oh wow, they're doing good work there, but does not help.
Yeah.
Till you're not learning, till you're not thinking, okay, why am I doing this, why can I not do this? So I think there are a few little things that do courses that really teach you, not just give you certificates. Follow somebody or join clinics, which help you to establish your practices. Be very, very patient. Like, be very, very patient. I think that's one thing in dentistry, that you have to be very patient and you have to keep learning, like every day. There is a very good book, Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
And I think all dentists should read it once they're done, because it teaches a lot. It tells you that you should be able to learn, you should be able to become 1% better every day.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things to learn, but yeah, it's not ki अरे यार ये कर लिया वो कर लिया, ऐसे नहीं है. There is, they get lost. Basically, I also experienced that you just get lost. So find a way.
And just hold on to the patience. Yeah, because that's true. I mean, and I think it's in life as well, that you have to be patient for life to
Yeah.
unfold the way it is going to be.
Yeah. Also, I think when you just pass out of anything,
Yeah.
it's not just dentistry. You look at the money, obviously,
Yeah.
because most of them. But it's not like that. I don't know much about other professions, but I can tell you about dentistry. It's not. It's slow, and it's the trust. Once the patient has trust in you, it'll go like many, 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 many years back. And so basically, I am in a practice which is 45-year-old. My father-in-law had started
Yeah.
this clinic 45 years back. And when I see him or when I see their practice, my in-laws' practice, I see there are patients who are coming for the last 40 years, their next generation. So
Yeah.
I think that's what you build. I'm sure 45 years back, it wasn't that easy for them. They've gone through the same
Yeah.
things that we are going through or the next generation is going through. But I think it's very important that you do good work and you are true in your work, and then everything else just falls in
And you
place.
just keep on doing that good work
Yeah,
for that
that's
trust
true.
to
That's
last.
true. That's true.
Okay, I'm sure you must also have like some patient stories or some things that have left a mark on you as a person. If you can just share one of those.
I was this lady. who came to our clinic. She was a surviving cancer patient, and so she had missing teeth, and she could not eat and talk, etc. And she always came with her pallu on her face, always. So in our clinic, we planned her treatment, got done. It wasn't a short treatment; it took many months, and there were various steps, and in all steps, whenever there was anything which was focused on her talking or her eating, she used to really shy away and not like it. Finally, I think it took about 6 months or maybe even more to get done. And finally, when the last time we took a video, she wasn't shy at all. So I realized then that it wasn't, so she didn't talk much. She was a very quiet lady and all, but you could really make out her confidence.
Exactly.
So that's when I realized that, it's not just treating their pain or the fact that they cannot eat and stuff like that. And I've seen that especially in women. It's a lot of treating a lot of emotional baggage that they carry, the fears that they have. So, there was this girl who had wanted to take up a job at one of the airlines, and she got rejected. She got rejected because of some gaps in her teeth and all. And she came, and very unfortunately, they rescheduled an interview for her within 24 or 48 hours. Now, she wanted to get her thing done. And for some reason, it wasn't happening. It wasn't possible. And she was so stressed, that poor girl. And she had come from somewhere far from Jaipur. But then we managed to, work something out for her. We told her, see, this is like a temporary arrangement that we're doing for you. But, want to, she really wanted to get that job done. So once we did it, she was so happy. She was so happy. She got the job later. So these are small things in that sense. They are the transformations, the befores and afters. But each one has a story. I realized that girl had the pressure. That women had so much of emotional baggage. She never wanted to show her face. So I think it's the confidence or the lost part of their lives that you give them back. And so there are many stories like that. But, some just stay with you. So
and I'm sure they're rewarding as well, because they kind of give you the purpose in your profession that you
I agree with that. So there are a lot of times when in all this there are days when you feel like, oh, what is happening? I don't want to do this. I don't want to keep juggling between the kids, their exams, and the clinic and the socializing bit, everything, and that's and then you come back to the clinic some days, and you see the patient relieved, whether it's pain, whether it's a smile, anything. That's when you feel okay. It's okay. It's worth it. So yeah, it is like that.
Okay. Last question to wrap this entire conversation up. Any message that you have for women who are just starting out in their careers or in their professions? Anything from your end for our audience?
I think wherever you are, whatever you think, if something's been on your mind, I think just start. As I said before, start small, start messy. However it is, just start. You might just change on the way. You might realize, no, this is not what I want. You might just become very big. But just start where you are. There is no perfect time, no perfect situation. No, there's absolutely, there is no, in fact, I would even say there's no perfect support system. You have to create your own support system, but you must do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sitting down for this conversation with us. It was incredible to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you to the audience who tuned in for this conversation. I'm sure you're taking a lot about life, oral health, and just, starting, even if it's a messy start. So make sure you leave us a valuable feedback in the comment section below. We'll see you next week with another episode. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.